my lecture. In this today's lecture, I am going to explain you how to understand the concept of sinusoidal pulse width modulation. Here in the video, you are seeing the instantaneous values of different different signals. Here, the blue color line represents the modulation and this red color line represents the carrier signal. The carrier signal that I am using here is a bidirectional triangular waveform having frequency equal to 3 times the sinusoidal signal frequency, where Fs is the sinusoidal signal frequency, or we can take it as 3 times the modulating signal, where Fm is the frequency of the modulating signal. Here, at this instant, the magnitude at these two instants, the magnitude of carrier signal is equal to the magnitude of or the amplitude of modulating signal. So, here I am generating the trigger pulses whenever the amplitude of carrier signal is higher than the amplitude of modulating signal. So that whenever this condition is satisfied, one trigger pulse will get generated. If you observe in between this interval, the amplitude of carrier signal is greater than amplitude of modulating signal, so that a trigger pulse will get generated. So, if we run this simulation, if we start observing the video, what happens is the magnitude of the amplitude of the carrier signal is changing, as well as modulating signal is also changing. But we are not reaching the instant where these two values are equal. Where these two values are equal. So that is the reason why the magnitude of trigger signal is equal to 0, and it remains 0 until that instant reaches. The instant is whenever the amplitude of carrier signal reaches a value higher than the amplitude of modulating signal, then only the magnitude of trigger pulse would be set equal to 1. Otherwise, the value or the magnitude of trigger pulse would be always made equal to 0. So, if you keep on watching this video, as the instantaneous values are changing, we reach the instances where these T signal amplitudes will be equal to 0. So if you observe, here again we reached a point at this instant. The amplitude of carrier signal is equal to the amplitude of modulating signal. As the time is going on, the amplitude is becoming higher than its modulating signal. As a result, the value of trigger pulse changes to 1 immediately. So as the time goes on, we reach another instant where these two values equal. Okay. So again at this time instant, these two values are equal, and the amplitude of carrier signal is falling below the amplitude of modulating signal. Again, at this instant of time, again I am showing at this instant of time, the condition is changed to the amplitude of carrier signal is higher than the amplitude of its modulating signal. As a result, the trigger pulse is set to high. Again, at this instant, these two values are made equal. At this instant, these two values are equal, and beyond, between these two intervals, between these two time instants, the amplitude of carrier signal is less than that of the modulating signal. That is the reason why the magnitude of trigger pulse or the amplitude of trigger pulse is set to 0. So, like this, we can understand based upon the instantaneous values of modulating signal and carrier signals, the width of the pulses that are generated are going to change. So, if you look at this waveform, here we have three different pulses. This is P1, the first pulse that was produced, and this is P2, and this is P3. So the width of the pulses, like TW1 is the width of pulse 1 is not equal to width of second pulse, that is not equal to width of third pulse. So the advantage of the sinusoidal pulse width modulation is that we can get variable width pulses. So the number of pulses that we can obtain in one cycle is equal to the frequency multiplier of the carrier signal. So what is meant by the frequency multiplier? Here, the frequency of the carrier signal is 3 times Fm, where Fm is the modulating signal frequency divided by the frequency of modulating signal, which is equal to 3. Here, this 3 is known as the frequency multiplier. So the number of pulses is equal to the frequency multiplier of the circuit. Here the frequency multiplier is nothing but the ratio of frequencies of carrier signal to the modulating signal. Carrier signal to its modulating signal. So like this, we can understand how the different width trigger pulses are generated with the help of a sinusoidal pulse width modulation. As you increase the frequency of the carrier wave signal, automatically what happens? The number of pulses that what you are going to get are increased. That means if I change the frequency of the carrier signal to 5 times Fm, then I will get 5 pulses of different width. If I increase that value to say 9, I will get 9 such kind of pulses. So like that, as you are go on increasing the pulse number, frequency of the carrier signal, you can get more number of such kind of pulses in the output of a pulse width modulator. The output of a pulse width modulator. So this is what I want to tell about a sinusoidal pulse width modulation. So in this scheme, we are using a sinusoidal signal having a frequency of 50 Hz and a carrier signal of frequency 3 times 50 Hz, which in turn equal to 150 Hz. Okay, thanks for watching.